The sides to make it
rock maple is going to be probably one of my favorite things in the whole home that we did.
just so you can keep your coffee warm there.
It's insane.
Perhaps not a widely shared viewpoint, but I must acknowledge that this woman possesses a remarkable sense of style. Caryn consistently presents herself impeccably. Her attire exudes elegance, complemented by flawless accessories and jewelry. I find myself admiring her wardrobe and sense of fashion. Regarding her fashion sense, some may see it as typical for a woman in her 50s, but personally, I don't find her style particularly appealing. However, I do commend her for always maintaining a polished appearance, with her makeup, hair, and accessories impeccably coordinated. It brings to mind the women I grew up admiring in the Southern tradition. As someone who used to feel obligated to always appear well-dressed, I recently experienced a sense of liberation when I wore sweatpants and a hoodie to the grocery store for the first time at 39. I've made a conscious effort not to impose this expectation on my daughter, and I'm glad she feels comfortable being herself. Observing Caryn and Matt's relationship, as well as Amy and Chris's, it's disheartening to witness Zach and Tori using their children as a means of retaliation against Matt and Caryn. While Matt may have 4 children, it's unreasonable to expect preferential treatment for one over the others. Zach and Tori need to mature and refrain from weaponizing their children in this manner, allowing them to foster a relationship with their grandfather and his wife, who clearly care for them deeply. Moreover, Caryn possesses a keen understanding of dressing to flatter her body type. I could use some guidance in that regard. Any suggestions besides Stitch Fix? I must also commend Caryn on her luscious locks, which, despite my initial suspicion of them being a wig, have been consistently showcased since the early seasons. Regardless of any detractors, I hold Caryn in high regard. While everyone makes mistakes, it's unfair to condemn someone indefinitely. She dresses impeccably for her physique, and I appreciate her for it. In my opinion, Caryn and Matt are a better match personality-wise than Matt and Amy ever were. While their relationship may have had a dubious beginning, it's perplexing why there's still animosity towards Caryn after a decade has passed. Amy and Matt have both found happiness, and it's time for everyone to move forward. Let's focus on the positives, including Caryn's impeccable fashion sense. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Red Bee. It's me, ELENA. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So let's dive into today's video. On the other hand, the submantle has been installed and the stove has been delivered. Alright, I must admit, I envy her stove. It appears to have a griddle option, which is quite impressive. However, I can't help but feel there's an odd correlation between one's culinary skills and the stove they choose. Personally, I consider myself a proficient cook. I can whip up tasty dishes, even over a campfire. With my 4-burner gas stove, oven, and electric griddle, I find it's more than sufficient. I often question why influencers who aren't chefs opt for these extravagant stoves. Had Audrey invested in a brick oven, considering her penchant for baking, it might have made more sense. But given her rather basic recipe repertoire, let's hope she elevates her cooking skills. The stove certainly deserves it. Furthermore, I still suspect that he and Oj have aspirations for an HGTV show and are simply waiting for offers. They're not quite at the level of Aaron and Ben Napier. Perhaps they could even be featured on Help, I Wrecked My House to remedy their home decor missteps. However, what was Amy's peculiar insistence on Caryn eating those pastries all about? Despite Caryn's polite attempts to decline, she was ultimately coerced by Amy into accepting them, resulting in quite an awkward scene. If I were living on the farm and witnessed some worker taking my husband, meddling in house negotiations, then getting engaged, and ultimately residing on the farm, I'd be furious, especially considering Zach, who comes from an LP family and could have seamlessly continued the farm's legacy, isn't the one living there. Caryn seems to be quite the meddler, and I can't blame Amy one bit for becoming irritated and pressuring her to eat another croissant. Caryn isn't exactly petite. She can handle 2 pastries. I found it rather bizarre when Amy kept fixating on the pastry during their conversation. Like, seriously, why does it even matter to Amy? It gave off some seriously weird vibes. I detest it when someone pressures me into eating. After Amy's assertive, "just eat it," I would have looked her straight in the eyes and firmly said, "No, I'm full. Enough already." Amy's behavior definitely gave off some feeder vibes, which made me uncomfortable. I refuse to eat on command, and I won't compromise my own boundaries or preferences just to appease bullies. If I were in Caryn's shoes, I would have firmly asserted my boundaries and questioned Amy's strange fixation on my eating habits. Furthermore, the awkwardness in scenes, with Chris making faces and such, likely stems from their lack of acting skills and the unnatural situations they're placed in for filming. I highly doubt they socialize with each other off-camera, so they're forced into these contrived situations together. Amy's rudeness is also quite apparent. While I understand Matt may not be her favorite person, her dismissive attitude towards Caryn mentioning Matt's health scare during a medical procedure, referring to him as someone who cries wolf, is uncalled for. If the tables were turned and Caryn made a rude comment about Chris, I'm certain Amy would react strongly. She comes off as an unhappy individual with a sour disposition. Regarding the allegations of Caryn ruining the marriage, it's worth noting that while pursuing someone else's husband is certainly unethical, ultimately, the responsibility lies with Matt, not Caryn. Matt was the one who broke his vows to Amy, despite their marriage being on the rocks for years. Caryn may have engaged in an affair, but it was Matt who pledged to remain faithful, regardless of any advances from other women, and he failed to uphold that commitment. Additionally, these past scenes from seasons 9 and 10 are truly heart-wrenching now that we're aware of Jacob's ongoing struggles, stemming from his hidden experience of sexual assault by one of the TLC producers. It's incredibly sad to think about what Jacob went through. Finding solace in his own family and prioritizing his son's privacy in the public eye is commendable. The decision of the Roloffs to continue with the show despite these circumstances is perplexing. I'd often wonder what discussions or agreements were made by production to convince the Roloffs to continue filming. Reflecting on those episodes now, it's unsettling how Jacob was portrayed, especially considering the trauma he had endured. The forced attempts to engage with him in one particular episode felt uncomfortable and contrived. As someone who also experienced years of sexual assault, I understand how predators often target vulnerable individuals. The shame, fear, and confusion can silence a child, even when they have protective parents who may be unaware of what's happening. Recognizing the signs of distress in children is crucial to prevent such atrocities from continuing unnoticed. Throughout the episodes, Jacob was often chastised and criticized, while his cries for attention or rebellion were misunderstood. It's troubling that he was left alone with the production crew, and the fact that no one noticed his absence speaks to a larger issue of negligence. Looking back, one can't help but wonder if those involved in the production regret their actions, or if they missed crucial signs of distress. It's a harrowing realization, especially considering the constant presence of people in the Roloff household. Moreover, so it seems like they're gearing up to move back in soon, but the decision to add another mantle under the existing one just adds to the overall confusion. Time is supposed to be fluid, right? I have a relative who always seems to choose the most complicated and costly route for everything they do. Despite the potential for saving both time and money, with just a bit of forward planning, they consistently opt for the most labor-intensive and expensive option. This remodel feels like a reflection of that mindset. Their current situation is dire. They lack essential appliances like a stove and microwave. Their roof is leaking. There's an imminent home birth on the horizon. and yet there's no clear move-in date in sight. Meanwhile, they've inexplicably taken away a bedroom to accommodate a bath for their hypothetical dog, and now they're adding a second fireplace mantle. It's difficult to understand the logic behind these decisions. On a lighter note, I've noticed Jeremy's habit of squinting whenever he speaks to the camera, both indoors and outdoors. Does he actually need glasses, or is he going for a certain look? Passing by an Olive Garden recently, I couldn't help but notice how the stone siding gives off that old-world aesthetic that seems to align with their home decor aspirations. It got me thinking about all the Fox fireplaces and tiled features they might have. Can anyone confirm if Olive Garden locations actually incorporate Fox fireplaces with shelves? While Jeremy seems preoccupied with adding a second mantle that nobody asked for, Audrey appears to be grappling with the challenge of keeping bodily fluids off everything in their home. Perhaps a visit to the hospital would offer some solutions. I think I've had enough internet for today. On the other hand, Little People Big World continues to captivate viewers with its drama, much of which revolves around Roloff farms in recent seasons. However, a subplot has emerged involving Caryn Chandler and Amy Roloff, prompting speculation about Amy's intentions. Despite moving on with other partners, Amy Roloff and Matt Roloff still exhibit tension whenever they're together, a dynamic that hasn't changed since their split. Both assertive personalities, they often find themselves in power struggles, even over seemingly benign tasks like planning charity events. Viewers have come to expect clashes between them, regardless of the circumstances. In interactions with Caryn Chandler, Amy strives to maintain a cordial demeanor, but viewers have picked up on the underlying tension between them. For instance, when Caryn received a larger engagement diamond than Amy claimed it didn't bother her, but her expression betrayed a hint of displeasure, leaving many fans to speculate. One incident that sparked discussion among fans was Amy's insistence on Caryn eating pastries, despite Caryn's reluctance. Some viewers jokingly suggested that Amy might have a hidden agenda, perhaps hoping Caryn would gain weight and struggle to fit into her wedding dress when she marries Matt. This theory, among others, circulated among Little People Big World fans. However, Little People Big World continues to showcase the ongoing activity at Roloff Farms, where there's always a new project or task to tackle. With Matt Roloff now in full control of the farm, he's free to pursue his ideas without needing approval from anyone else. Currently, Matt, alongside his team, is diligently working on constructing his dream home with Caryn Chandler on the farm. Additionally, Roloff Farms is renowned for its annual pumpkin season, which attracts numerous visitors each year. Both Matt and Amy Roloff played pivotal roles in building Roloff Farms into the thriving enterprise it is today, and Matt continues to lead its operations. Despite the rift between Matt and his eldest sons over the failed Roloff Farms deal, Jacob Roloff remains a trusted farmhand, assisting his father with various tasks such as farming and maintenance work. Living on the farm with his family, Jacob's involvement has led some fans to speculate that he might be groomed as Matt's successor, although the official plan remains for Amy to inherit the farm. In a heartwarming update shared on the Roloff Farms Instagram page, the family introduced new members to their furry family, a mother cat named April and her 3 kittens. The adorable additions, 2 male cats named Simon and Garfunkel, or Gary for short, and a female named May, bring joy to the farm and are sure to enjoy the ample space to roam and thrive. The arrival of these new feline companions has warmed the hearts of many Little People Big World fans. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.